Good morning, everybody. John Grimsmo here, bringing you a Friday Grimsmo Grind. Super pumped today, super great mood, which is fantastic. John Saunders and I had an excellent Friday morning video chat that we always do. Went pretty deep, got some great progress, and we always help each other out. I mean, we're very similar. It's kind of creepy how similar we are. So I thank you very much for that, John. So today I want to talk about the Mori purchase. Some of the details, kind of storytelling experience of what the experience was like dealing with the bigger companies and the financing, the payments. I'm not going to go too deep, but I want to do an overview conversation. I'm not going to talk about the Tormac price level. That's a totally different conversation. Right now I'm just going to the top, why we got it, and what the experience was like, because I'm getting more and more emails of guys asking, they're thinking about stepping up their business. They're thinking about getting a certain machine. Do I go really good? Do I go middle of the road? And what kind of details can I get this? What kind of financing? What options do I want to get? So I want to give you guys a general overview of what that was like. So we, at the old garage, there were limitations. There was a basement underneath. The concrete was like this thick. It was cracked. We had the Tormac machines. We could have maybe put a Haas mini mill in there, but even that weight, like 5,000 pounds, was kind of dicey. So I didn't want to push it, and we didn't have a lot of power at the shop, and there was so many limitations and height restrictions, and it was just, anyway, we're at the shop now. Now we can put whatever we want in here. That was part of the reason why we went to the shop, is because we actually signed for the Mori before we found a workshop, and we're like, just hold off on it until we find a shop, and then we'll take delivery on it, because it's a demo machine. It was an hour away in Toronto, sitting on the floor. It still took 3 months for financing to be approved, and for all the paperwork, from when we signed the agreement to when the financing was approved and all the paperwork was done and the machine was sitting on our shop floor. 3 months is a long time. Apparently other companies are a lot faster than that. DMG is sometimes faster than that, but I don't know why this took so long. It was kind of annoying. But it worked out because we had to find a shop, we had to renovate the shop, and timing-wise, it really did work out. It was just hard to wade through it. But if you're thinking about buying a new machine, I've got a mic on me now so I can talk away from the camera, which is kind of weird, but I'm getting used to it. If you're thinking about buying a new machine, obviously you need to figure out what your requirements are, what your needs are, size, power, ratio. Think about what you're actually going to be using it for. I fully admit we overbought like crazy. This is way more than we need right now. But the opportunity came up. They gave us a really good price on it, and I feel very confident in the choice that we made. It's amazing. I love it. It's fantastic. That being said, my second choice, at the time it was my first choice, was a Brother Speedio S700X1, which I still believe to this day is a fantastic machine. I know like 3 or 4 people personally that have it. It can fit in your garage if you have the right, stuff for it. I still want one of those machines. I don't need it right now, but I still love those machines. But basically, when you're thinking about machines, you need to go and see. You need to go see them, because if you don't see them in action, you're just guessing. You're just reading the information on the website. You're just watching YouTube videos, which is helpful. But when you actually go and see it, when you listen to it, when you see the parts that it's making, when you talk to owners that actually have it, I mean, this is a big investment. And we actually didn't see one of these run. We didn't even see a demo. That was kind of foolish of us. But I've been around machine tools for many years. I've been going to all the trade shows. I'm comfortable. That being said, the salesman will often offer to bring you to a location that has one. We did go look at a couple Brother machines, not Speedios because there aren't any around here, but we looked at some slightly older Brothers, talked to the owners, super reliable machines. So, I mean, the salesman of any brand wants to sell you the machine. We had the Haas guy come to our old garage and try to sell us the mini mill. We had Okuma guys come by. We had Doosan, who else? Elliot Matsura. There's a lot of distributors around here. Every year we go to the joint open house, which I actually went to last month and took a video and haven't put it up yet. But that's fantastic, because we probably see 100 machines at that show, all under power, all like tangible, like right in front of you. You can talk to the applications engineer. if you're thinking about making such a big decision, you need to consume as much as you can until you feel comfortable with it. Because otherwise, it's a big, scary thing. But yeah, I mean, the salesmen want to sell you. That's their job. So you, as the buyer, as the consumer, have to pick and choose what is actually right for you. Otherwise, you're just listening to a pitch and falling for it. And that might work, might not work. They'll take you out to lunch. And if one guy takes you out to lunch and the other guy doesn't, then are you going to go with the lunch guy? Well, maybe, but I don't know. Personal connection can be very strong, and they're very good about that. They're salesmen, so you got to watch out for that. Financing is a tricky issue. We've never financed anything before. It was daunting and scary. I mean, this has a very large price tag. It's $144,000 US, all in with the chip conveyor and the tooling package and everything we needed and the transformer and delivery and everything. That's a lot of money. But I don't regret it whatsoever because we thought about it. We want the best machine we can afford. And when it comes down to a monthly payment, well, a $1,500 monthly payment for a Haas Mini Mill or whatever it was versus a $3,500 payment for the Mori, it's like 3,800 Canadian, so like 3,000 something, low 3,000s US. For the Mori, it's like every month, that's just one or two knives more. And not that the Mori can make more knives than the Haas, they'll be better. They'll be tighter tolerance, they'll have better surface finish. The machine might last longer. These are the kind of things we took into account. And we looked at the bottom line. Well, it's only that much more per month. I think we can justify that because we want the best. And that's what it came down to. I mean, I looked at all the Haas machines. I saw a bunch in operation. We just decided to go big. And did we ever go big? Let's see, what else can I talk about? Yeah, I've got a bunch of guys asking me, and I'm suggesting the Brother Speedio. I love that machine. I think it's amazing. One of the guys, his name's Jeff. He makes knives. He makes Balisong knives, like butterfly knives, and he's trying to figure out between a Haas VF2 and a Brother Speedio. And he said he went to a shop that had like 25 Haas machines in operation, and they used to have Brothers, and they replaced them with Haas's. So the Haas salesman is like, you got to come check this shop out and see all these Haas's in action. I have nothing against Haas, just like I have nothing against Tormac. Different strokes for different folks. I'm just comparing here. There are pluses and minuses to everything. I am a huge fan of the Brother Speedio. It is that Japanese quality precision level. Nothing wrong with American made either. I'm not trying to insult anybody. But I've fallen in love with Japanese equipment because it's amazing. But anyway, so Jeff sees all these machines, and the salesman trying to sell him that the Brother is not a rigid machine, that it's not like you can't hog out material. But this dude makes knives like we do, like small, intricate parts like this. Does not need a huge hogging machine, says the guy that got a Mori with 20 horsepower. But we have long-term plans. That's the thing. I don't know. I firmly believe I would have been perfectly happy with a Brother Speedio. A little bit lower price tag, smaller footprint, less horsepower. It would have worked. But we decided to go with this, and I don't regret it. I bring it up all the time. I have issue, but I don't regret it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm happy with my decision. But yeah, so he's trying to decide between the Haas and the Brother, and the price tag in that scenario is not that much different. The monthly payment's like $400 more. And personally, I'm suggesting the Brother because I think he'll be happier with it. That being, and he has the money to afford it. Like he can justify the expense, and he makes a very quality product. Haas makes good stuff too, but it's like Saunders has been realizing: buy the best that you can afford, and if you can justify the reason. Like we talked this morning. There's a difference between being irresponsible and being calculated. If we had bought this 3 years ago or 4 years ago instead of buying the Tormax, that would have been grossly irresponsible. That's why we got the Tormax, because that was a calculated decision at the time. The mill, the lathe, the surface grinder. 3-4 years ago, we had no business spending more than what the Tormax cost. And I have no regrets for that at all. I don't use the mill very much anymore, just because it's overshadowed by this, literally. And here's Eric. Good morning, Falcor.
He's so excited to come in too. Like right when he gets out of the car, he runs straight to the door and just stands there. He stopped like cruising around now in the morning.
Nice. Good morning, puppy. All right, we're talking about Mori details.
Mori details.
Get your 2 cents in.
Okay.
So it's like storytelling, experience.
Oh.
I'm kind of dragging on as why we got it.
Okay.
But from your perspective, what?
Because Mori.
Yeah. Hashtag because Mori.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you find the experience?
Terrifying.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. It's huge. Like we've never kind of signed up for that kind of commitment before.
Right. It's a 5-year lease.
Yeah, I'm not a big commitment guy. So yeah, it's tough. Like I've had a couple car loans, and that's terrifying.
Right.
But
for a $5,000-$10,000 car.
Exactly. But a mortgage is a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not quite that. But
the difference is, with frivolous expenses, a car will depreciate.
Yeah.
This will depreciate too, but it makes you money.
Yeah.
So, like, there's good debt and bad debt.
At the rate that a car does.
Right. I mean, if there is a such thing as good debt versus bad debt, this is good debt because it makes you money.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it can literally pay itself off in like a year if you're smart.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what we kind of justified with it.
Right.
It'll definitely pay itself off.
Many times over.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what about the whole like salesman going to look at machines, dealing with people, the higher level of business? Like DMG Mori is a big company. You go in there and you're like, you feel like an ant.
Yeah, we feel like you should be wearing a suit too or something.
Yeah, because everybody else is.
Yeah.
We go in there in their shorts and t-shirts and say, we want that.
Yep.
And we don't feel like we're taken seriously, but...
But obviously we were, because we got it.
Yeah.
And they worked with us really well. They gave us a good deal, and it was great. But it's still dealing with guys in suits and a lot of paperwork and things that lawyers would be good for. But yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. And there are a lot of other options where you could get in for a lot less. But we decided to go this route because we knew it would do everything we needed to do.
Yeah, for a very long time.
And reliability is key for us.
Right.
We heard these things are hardly ever down. And they're, some people just cannot praise these things enough. So it's kind of hard to turn that down.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I mean, we know there's 30-year-old Mori machines that are still totally in operation, and they've been beat the piss out of every day their entire lives. And that's, I like to think of it as that's 30-year-old technology still good today. What's today's technology 30 years from now going to last? Like, even better.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so how do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wasn't big into CNC before, but doing the whole process of getting a serious machine with a proper control system that just seems intuitive, at least more so than what I found Mach 3 to be.
Yep. Yeah, PathPilot's better, but Mach 3 was a joke.
But I hadn't seen PathPilot before getting this. So yeah, it got me a lot more excited about the machinery. Learning about it, learning about the capabilities and what it'll help us accomplish if we, manage to put it to good use on a daily basis.
Right.
Which we are, but it can handle a lot more than we can do right now.
Yeah, and it could run lights out all night long, and we're getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, even things like the control panel, like Mach 3 was so PC based, you have to use the mouse for everything, and going to here and having to go like G65, P9857, T15 to set off a tool. Well, now I know how to do it. It's easy once you're used to it. Going from a PC Mach 3 to this is weird, but it's better in a way, in many ways. No wonder why it's industry standard. Yeah.
And now that we know like this machine, we can look at all the other ones, and when we go to the shows, it looks like we could run all the machines that are there, all the high-end ones. Whereas when we were playing around with Mach 3, you look at these controllers and you're like, that just looks so complicated.
Yeah, it's so foreign, even me. Yeah.
But it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, you start to get it.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just trying to share the experience that we had and the way that we felt throughout the whole experience, going from the hobbyist side of things and the Tormek machines to the next level 20 times higher.
Yeah.
And you being the finishing side of things, how do you like the finish coming off this machine?
It's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the main things we were having before was just like a lot of spindle run out and stuff, and you just have to go through a lot more grits of sandpaper or belts on the grinder to cut it down to clean it up before tumbling or stonewashing. And now, like, you just kind of buzz it with a really fine belt, and it takes, it's mainly the end mill, like chips and little nicks in the end mills.
Yeah, instead of being run out that's like this, it's just streaks in the end mill.
Yeah, so there might be one deep one that I have to get out or something. But aside from that, it's, like, that's hard to avoid.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better. And things go to bed together a lot better, too. Like, they click together, the handles just fit, they work.
Tolerances are just bang on. Like.
Yeah, the blades are a lot nicer. Especially with the proper coolant, too. Like, QualiChem helped a lot.
It really did. Even on the Tormek, the QualiChem helped a lot. So it's like the right tool for the right job all of a sudden makes it perfect.
Yeah. Especially on the Norseman bevels.
Yeah.
It's noticeable.
Yeah, like, I'll show you.
Do you have that one?
I don't have the one, but like how we machine our bevels here, we were working on the Mori and we were having a problem with the coolant, and it was machining the bevel halfway, and then I turned the coolant off and it did a couple lines, and then I turned the coolant back on, and man, could you ever tell. There was like beautiful, crap, beautiful. And did you even use that blade?
I don't know. I might have had to etch it pretty hard to just...
So you can hide everything.
Yeah, it just blends it all together. It eats up the surface enough that you can't really...
But you couldn't do a polished blade out of that.
No,
because
I couldn't have stonewashed it or anything. Because you can just see the difference in the two, and polishing it out would just take a really long time, and it wouldn't look much like a Norseman anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we are very happy with the purchase. It's still big and scary, but we're used to it. And
it's just a lot more to, pay off every month. It's a lot more to think about. Feel a lot worse when it's not running.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, there's a bit of guilt that you have to keep it running,
but we're trying not to do any busy work because if we batch something and one thing is wrong, it's wrong on all of them.
Right.
And then we just wasted all that days of work just because we wanted to keep it running.
Right.
And that's kind of, the whole thing we were trying to avoid once getting this machine and trying to do one-piece flow. Is just make sure that everything is perfect, every time, and we're not wasting so many parts and having to throw out so many knives.
And the wasted parts are almost always my problem, not the machine's problem.
Right.
Setup, chip tools, tolerances, things like that.
Or weird things in the cam.
Yep.
You change one thing and then it just messes up something else randomly.
Yeah, like 3 things change if you change one thing. It happens. You got to be careful of this. So that's why I don't make 5 changes in Fusion, post the code, and then make 100 parts. You got to check your work. I mean, that's all there is to it. But yeah, things are good. It's got 30 tools and they are full.
That's probably a very big part of why this thing is awesome too.
Right.
Because we can do almost everything with all the same tools.
Right. The Speedio has only 21 tools, and that hurt because we were looking at this too, and this has 30. And boy, we can do everything on one fixture with all the tools in the machine. We can make blades, handles, clips, Torx engraving, Torx screws, and everything. Yeah, so that's pretty cool too. So yeah, not to drag on too much longer, but hopefully that gave you a overview, little thoughts and experience. I love the chip conveyor. You know, most machines don't come with one standard. You have to purchase it separately. Same for this. I do love it though, because apparently the stock chip bucket, you got to drag the whole thing out and scoop it out, and it's no good.
Yeah, the just daily maintenance or weekly maintenance is so much less because we just run the conveyor, it empties into the bucket, and that's it.
And we're not making a ton of chips. Like, we're not reducing 50 pounds of aluminum to 1 pound parts.
No, but when we do, it's fun.
When we do, it is fun, yeah. Yeah, filling up one of those buckets in like a day sure is fun, but we're getting there. Things are great.
Washdown hose would be nice.
Yeah, I do wish we had a washdown hose, and I need to figure out how to install one and make it easy. Easy to use. Like, there's a button here for gun. Okay, here's a question.
Wasn't it just like an option that wasn't feasible for the price?
Yeah. I don't know how to access these buttons, these relays. If anybody out there knows how to get in the back system and plug it in, that would be awesome. I'm sure it's just a relay that controls another pump, which I can put in the sump, and that'd be great. So anyway, I'm going to cut it out now. A nice long video for today, but it was detailed. It was good stuff. So yeah. You excited for Blade Show?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you ready for Blade Show?
Nope.
All right.
Not at all.
No sleep till Blade Show.
Yay! We don't need that, right?
No. All right, guys. Yeah, 1 week till the show starts, basically. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.
Toodles.